As the world crossed the threshold into the 20th century, the year 1900 marked a fierce mechanical identity crisis. The horse, as a mode of transportation, was on its way out to pasture, and the modern automobile was not born just yet. But this 1900 Benz motor wagon would help change all of that. A world of wonder, where fantastical music machines provide the soundtrack for a tantalizing stroll through history. Vintage automobiles and memorabilia stimulate the senses around every chromed curve and corner. This is Inside Stahls. Early automotive pioneers were simply slapping single-cylinder engines on wooden carriages. They were shaky, violently loud, and wholly unsuitable for real travel. Carl Benz, the man that first patented the automobile, was faced with a brutal reality. His early designs were becoming obsolete. To complicate matters, Benz had a fierce rival named Gottlieb Daimler, who was producing vertical, powerful, multi-cylinder engines. Well, in order to save his company and maintain his crown, Benz came to the realization that he needed to completely reinvent the internal combustion engine. The peak maturation of this desperate corporate warfare was a machine that rewrote the laws of automotive engineering. To fully appreciate this vehicle, you have to take a look under the wooden frame because it features an option that's still prevalent in sports cars to this day. This was the birthplace of the Contra motor, the world's first horizontally opposed piston engine, better known today as the boxer engine. Carl Benz realized that vertical engines made a vehicle top-heavy and unstable. His brilliant counter move was to lay two cylinders perfectly flat facing opposite directions. As they fired, the pistons moved in exact opposition, simultaneously hitting top dead center. The kinetic forces effectively canceled each other out, drastically reducing the violent vibrations that plagued early cars. Power traveled from the crankshaft through a flat leather belt to an intermediate countershaft gearbox. From there, heavy-duty roller chains sent raw mechanical power directly to the massive rear wheels. The suspension was heavily rooted in carriage design. It featured rigid axles and beefy leaf springs to help cushion the ride, yet despite all that, it was stiff and unforgiving, although robust enough to handle the deeply rutted and unpaved roads of the new century, or basically anything you'll find in Michigan today. Now, this car was rapidly changing. Between its initial debut in 1898 and the production run in 1900, the automobile underwent a massive engineering evolution. The primary evolution was sheer firepower. When the first experimental Contra motor dropped in 1898, it was a modest 1,710 cubic centimeter unit scrapping together just 4 to 5 horsepower. By 1900, Benz had aggressively bored out the cylinders, inflating displacement to over 2,600 cc's and nearly doubling the output to a muscular 9 to 10 horsepower. This is believed to possess the bigger engine, capable of producing speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. The huge leap in power required better control. In 1898, the car featured a rudimentary 3-speed countershaft system, but the 1900 production run featured an advanced 4-speed transmission, giving drivers much tighter control over their power bands. Externally, the chassis grew sturdier. The 1898 versions looked fragile, closely resembling lightweight horse buggies. The 1900 model brought heavy-duty wooden artillery wheels with a killer stack stance, 10 spokes up front with 16 spokes in the rear. A wider wheel track provided stability, and wider solid rubber tires were used to help keep this baby hooked up with all that new horsepower. Despite the many mechanical upgrades, the car maintained one of its most iconic and distinctive features, its seating arrangement. Many of these cars featured do-si-do seating. Now, if you're like me, you thought that term was derived by a couple of hillbillies playing banjos at a square dance. Turns out it's a French term meaning back to back. So on many of these cars, a seat was located right here with the passengers facing rearward back to back with the driver and the front seat passenger. A significant upgrade from the vis-a-vis seating, face to face. Believe it or not, these cars used to feature a rumble seat in front of the steering wheel. That presented some obstacles, mainly for the driver who had to look around his passengers to see where he was going. As you might imagine, that raised some safety concerns. But this car was different. It was custom ordered by Frederick Adolphus Hendy, a renowned bicycle builder and an original Benz dealer. So Hendy had Andrew's coachwork craft this small bump out at the front of the car. It featured this little door and a single seat that was specifically designed for Hendy's granddaughter to ride along. That one feature made this car one enduring piece to the Hendy legacy. The true significance of this car is how it altered the destiny of the global automotive industry. The fierce, intense engineering war waged between Benz and Gottlieb Daimler didn't end in mass destruction, rather in historic unification. The engineering lessons validated by this car directly influenced the corporate evolution that eventually forced these two fierce rivals to merge in 1926. That historic union created the automobile titan we know today as Mercedes-Benz. Because these vehicles were hand-built, custom-ordered luxury items, production numbers were incredibly low. It is estimated that only a few dozen variants of this car with the genuine Contra engine were ever built. Today, they are among the rarest automotive treasures on Earth. One pristine early model is currently kept at the epicenter of the brand's history, the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart, Germany. One of the others, of course, can be found right here at Stahls. The Benz was far more than a quirky novelty carriage. It was the definitive line in the sand. It was the exact moment the automobile stopped pretending to be a carriage, embraced radical mechanical innovation, and stepped boldly into the modern era. So every time you see a modern sports car slung low to the ground or enjoy an unobstructed view out your front windshield, you are looking at a legacy motor car that started it all. A car that spent an astonishing 123 years in the Hendy family's possession before eventually finding its way here to Stahls, where hopefully it will be around for another century or two.